What's up, Wolfpack fam? It's your boy Kid back at it again. I hope you brought your appetite, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be checking out some iconic British food. So I am definitely excited to check this out. I may have made a mistake by not eating today. I feel like that was a big mistake right now as we're about to check this out. So might have screwed up. If I'm drooling on this one, oh well, ladies and gentlemen, let's freaking check this one out. And shout out to Mia for this one. I really appreciate it. I might be getting upset later as I get a little hungry on this one, but let's get it. Let's check it out. You might hear my line in just a second too, so let's check it out. I hope you guys got your appetite today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, shout out to Mia. Snack sis not included, damn it. You got to bring your own. We're going to be checking out some iconic British foods you need to try before you die. I feel like this one is calling me, ladies and gentlemen.
British food isn't exactly the first thing people go to when they think of world-class cuisine. But forget what you've heard about it. Truth is, the UK is home to some of the tastiest dishes around. These are iconic British foods you need to try before you die. You won't find many dishes simpler than bangers and mash. It consists of a few sausages, or one Cumberland sausage, served with a hefty dollop of mashed potatoes. More often than not, gravy will be involved. And that's pretty much it. Usually, of course, things turn out a little fancier than that. The sausages can be made from lamb or beef rather than the standard pork. The mash can be spruced up with cream or mustard, while a handful of extra side additions might be included too, depending entirely on the preference of the person making it. The first thing to know about the bacon sandwich is that British bacon isn't the same as American bacon. The British variant is leaner and meatier than the US version, since it comes from the loin of the pig rather than the belly. Some would even say the British stuff is tastier too. That's why in the UK, it seems far less crazy to stick a few rashers of bacon between two buttered slices of bread, slather it in ketchup or brown sauce, and just go to town on it.
Hey, yo, girl.
The bacon sandwich, or buddy as Northerners call it, is the ultimate quick fix breakfast. Some people like to spruce them up with fancy breads or fried eggs, but most of the time it's made with nothing more than bacon, bread, and sauce.
What I think makes a really good bacon sandwich is smoky bacon. I love that smokiness and I like it quite crispy.
And that's just the way it should be. The full English is probably the most well-known breakfast in the UK. Although people make slight alterations to the dish based on their own preferences, a proper full English should include at least some combination of sausage, bacon, eggs, tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, baked beans, and black pudding. Other regions in the UK have their own variations too. In Scotland, for example, a full breakfast might include haggis or oatcakes, while in Wales you might find it includes cockles or laverbread. Although most British hotels and B&Bs will offer a full English breakfast, the best ones tend to be served in grubby little greasy spoons and should cost no more than a $5. Don't bother trying anything too fancy with this one. You'll only be disappointed. One of the many pies and pastries to be found in British cuisine, beef Wellington, is made up of filet steak coated with pâté and duxelles, which is a kind of mix of mushrooms, onions, and herbs. This steak is then wrapped in ham and baked in a pastry. Many recipes use pâté de foie gras, but this particular ingredient tends to be a little controversial, to say the least. This is another one of those delectably hearty dishes that you'll most often find served in pubs up and down the UK, though it's not too hard to make at home. If nothing else, it's a great use of any leftovers from a Sunday roast. One of Britain's more notorious foods, black pudding, is a kind of blood sausage made from pork blood, fat, and cereal, which is then spiced with mint, thyme, and pennyroyal. Taste-wise, imagine eating a particularly bready kind of sausage, and you're probably halfway there. Although it's a regional specialty in the West Midlands and northwest of England, black pudding is a staple part of the full English, so you can expect to find it on breakfast tables around the country. It'd be very easy to give the chip buddy a bad rap, but that wouldn't be very fair, because this is by far one of the best comfort foods Britain has to offer. The idea is simple. You heap a load of thick-cut chips, French fries for Americans, onto a slice of buttered bread, throw a little sauce on if you like, stick another slice of bread on top, and then you're good to go. Most often found in the north of England, the chip buddy is a mainstay food of the British working class. Depending on where you are in the country and on what kind of bread you're using, you might hear it referred to as a chip sandwich, chip roll, chip bap, chip cob, chip sarnie, or something else entirely. Doesn't matter what it's called though, it still tastes great. At first glance, chicken tikka masala may seem like an Indian dish, but it's believed by many to have been created by South Asian immigrants in the United Kingdom, with one account placing its origins in Glasgow. This is disputed, however, and others claim it is simply a modification of an existing Indian recipe. Either way, chicken tikka masala is one of the country's most iconic and best-loved dishes. It consists of small pieces of chicken that have been marinated in spices and yogurt before being oven roasted and stirred into a tomato-based curry sauce. It's usually served with rice and naan, and is served in pretty much every single one of the UK's many Indian restaurants and takeaways. Also known as shepherd's pie, cottage pie basically consists of ground meat, such as beef or lamb, cooked in an onion gravy, topped with mashed potatoes, and baked in an oven. Often, it includes other ingredients such as peas or carrots, and if it doesn't, then you'll more than likely find them served on the side. Many British people will remember cottage pie as a staple school dinner, and you can also find it on the menu in most pubs. But anyone will tell you that the best cottage pie is always homemade. Named for the ultra-posh and highly controversial school from which it originated, Eton Mess is a traditional dessert made up of strawberries, meringue, and whipped cream. Some recipes include other fruits such as raspberries and blackberries, but as long as you've got something fruity to play off against that cream and the crumbly meringue, you'll be just fine. This one is best enjoyed at the height of summer. Fish and chips is one of the world's most famous British dishes, and for good reason too. It's basically fish fried in batter served up with the thickly cut chips, usually doused in salt and vinegar, with a little ketchup or some mushy peas on the side. The fish itself is most often cod or haddock, but other kinds are occasionally used. Although you'll find fish and chips pretty much everywhere in the UK, proper seaside chippies almost always do it best. The fish is always freshly caught, the chips will be made just right, and the setting is invariably just right for the occasion. Put short, this is the ultimate British culinary experience. Game pies are traditional English pastries that are best known for having become really quite over the top during the Victorian era. Although recipes for game pies have changed over the years, modern variations tend to contain meats such as venison, rabbit, pheasant, pigeon, or boar, and are mixed in with garlic, shallots or onions, bacon, pork, as well as a range of different herbs and spices. Unlike the Victorians, you needn't worry about birds stuffed within birds or crazy fancy pastry patterns. Simplicity is key here. Simplicity and a good ale, that is. The jam roly-poly is pretty much just a Swiss roll with a better name. It's a pudding made from suet dough, which is spread with jam and rolled up before baking. You'll sometimes find it dusted with sugar or served with cream, custard, or ice cream, but it's a nice enough treat no matter how you have it. Modern versions often use sponge cake like a Swiss roll rather than suet, partly because it's easier to get hold of, and partly because it's a little more palatable. Either way, it doesn't matter, just so long as it's bursting with fruit jam. Okay, yes, jellied eels might seem like something they'd serve you in hell, and well, yeah, they're really not that great. This dish is prepared by chopping up eels, boiling them in stock, then allowing it to cool and set into a jelly. Just to make things even better, they are also eaten cold.
No, thank you.
Jellied eels are slimy, salty, and totally gross too. But they have a genuinely fascinating past, and trying a bowl of them in a proper East End establishment really does feel like you're tasting history. A kipper is basically a split herring that has been pickled and smoked, and although they're eaten all over Europe, they're particularly popular in Britain. Nowadays, they're eaten as a breakfast food, although they're not quite as popular as they once were. So don't take them for granted if you do get hold of some. You might just be surprised how tasty they can be. It might be a shock to discover that the Knickerbocker glory comes from the same country as jellied eels and black pudding, but it's true. Once sold almost exclusively out of the country's many ice cream vans, Knickerbocker glories are basically elaborate ice cream sundaes made up of vanilla ice cream, strawberries, whipped cream, syrup, sprinkles, and a wafer, all served in a tall glass. Sometimes they might include chopped nuts, more syrups, chocolate, or anything else any kid could ever want. And yes, they really do taste as good as they look.
Hell
The
yeah, give me that.
Battenberg is easily one of Britain's most visually striking desserts, but it's definitely something of an acquired taste. The inner section is nice enough, being made up of a light sponge held together with jam. The outer layer, however, is made from marzipan, a thick fondant-like confection made up of sugar, honey, and almonds. Marzipan has got a genuinely unique flavor to it, but it's not for everyone. In fact, a 2019 survey found that it was one of the UK's most hated foods. Still, no one would blame you if you swapped it out for a little fondant instead. Funnily enough, mince pies really aren't what they sound like. Although they did indeed contain minced meat once upon a time, today they're a sweeter treat served exclusively at Christmas. The modern mince pie is a sweet pastry dusted with sugar, filled with a concoction of dried fruits and spices. They're pretty much bite-sized and are served in their millions every year. For many Brits, these things literally taste like Christmas.
That's nice.
Thanks in part to the stratospheric rise of the fast food bakery chain Greggs, the humble pasty has become one of the UK's favorite lunch snacks. Originating in Cornwall, pasties are usually made by wrapping a filling in a pie-like pastry and then baking them. Cornish pasties always contain beef, potato, swede, and onion, but countless different variations exist, including chicken, pork, turkey, cheese, vegetables, and more. As with anything, for the best pasties, you'll need to go straight to the source, Cornwall. They don't get much better than that. Think of the ploughmans as kind of like the British version of the charcuterie board. It's a spread of various foodstuffs, and different places will offer different variations. But the key ingredients are bread, cheese, and onions. You might also find salad, ham, hard-boiled eggs, apple, chutney, pickled eggs or onions, or any other similar cold ingredients. Ploughman's lunches are rather famous for being sold in pubs, having once been pretty much the only type of food they would agree to serve. As such, a proper Ploughman's is invariably served with a pint of beer. Another cold British classic is the pork pie, a small snack with a long-reaching history. The earliest mentions of something resembling the pork pie appear as far back as the 14th century, and the use of gelatin to preserve the meat inside was a staple method of medieval cooking. Nowadays, pork pies are often included as part of a ploughman's, or eaten with a salad on the side. Arguably the best around is the Melton Mowbray pork pie, which is always hand-molded, made with uncured meat, and unlike other versions, uses pork that has been chopped rather than minced. They may not look like much, but they're one of Britain's most beloved snack foods.
Don't look bad, look
Scones,
good.
or as some denizens of the UK say it, scones, are a type of sweet or sometimes savory baked food made from wheat or oatmeal. Although they come in many varieties, the most famous use of scones in England is as part of cream tea, a traditional type of afternoon tea that has them served with clotted cream and jam. The pronunciation of the word is also a major point of contention amongst British people. A 2016 survey found that 51% of Britons pronounce it to rhyme with gone, whereas 42% pronounce it to rhyme with bone. The former is a northern and Scottish thing, whereas the latter is a southern thing. For some reason, Brits take this debate very, very seriously indeed.
So, first question, scone.
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 Well, if you're from Northern, it's scone, isn't
Scone. Scone it is.
It is scone.
Because once it's scone, it's scone.
The range in quality between good Scotch eggs and bad Scotch eggs is very wide indeed. That is to say that bad Scotch eggs are very bad indeed, and good Scotch eggs are nothing less than pure bliss. Scotch eggs are boiled eggs wrapped in sausage meat, coated in breadcrumbs and deep-fried or baked. They're a favorite bar snack up and down the UK, but you'll also find lesser versions in British supermarkets. A good Scotch egg should have a thick lining of high-quality pork sausage meat, preferably well-flavored with herbs such as parsley and chives. The egg should be soft-boiled rather than hard-boiled, and when you cut or bite into it, the yolk should basically explode. This is one dish that's worth the extra effort. To most British people, the term scouse will conjure images of Liverpool, where the inhabitants are colloquially known as scousers. But they're called this for a reason. Scouse was originally a stew concocted by sailors, which first originated in Norway and spread to Liverpool, once Britain's foremost port. Although the city has changed a lot since its imperial heyday, the dish has remained, and is still served at cafes and restaurants across the city. This stew is usually lamb or beef based, and also contains onions, carrot, potatoes, cabbage, and pretty much any other leftover vegetable you have, although beetroot tends to be a particularly popular ingredient. Served up with some nice crusty bread, scouse comes out on top as the best winter stew out there, and one of the UK's tastiest regional dishes, full stop. Stargazy pie is a truly peculiar dish, both in name and appearance. The term stargazy refers to the fact that the fish in the pie, usually pilchards or sardines, are facing outwards, with their heads sticking up through the crust. Aside from the fish, stargazy pie can contain any number of different ingredients, including hard-boiled eggs, bacon, onion, mustard, herbs, wine, and more. And although it looks downright weird, it actually tastes pretty great. It's a rich, salty, and extremely filling dish that acts as an entire meal in one. The roast dinner is probably the ultimate British dish, typically eaten on a Sunday, and nowadays very popular in pubs. The typical roast is centered around one particular kind of roast meat. This can be anything from beef to pork to lamb to chicken, although game birds are occasionally used too. Accompanying the meat, you'll find any combination of roast potatoes, gravy, broccoli, green beans, cabbage, parsnips, swede, carrots, peas, and cauliflower cheese. Each different type of meat comes with its own additions, too. Roast beef, for example, is served with Yorkshire pudding, mustard, or horseradish. Pork tends to come with applesauce, crackling, and stuffing. Lamb almost always sits alongside mint sauce, and chicken is accompanied by stuffing or cranberry sauce. Arguably, the best roast dinner experience involves a pub, friends or family, and a lot of beer and wine. But nothing beats a homemade Sunday roast either, and the scope for customization is practically unlimited. Toad in the hole is a little less gross than it sounds, mostly because it doesn't involve any actual toads. Instead, the toads are sausages, while the hole refers to a single giant Yorkshire pudding, usually served with gravy and vegetables. This dish is a kind of middle ground between the roast dinner and bangers and mash. Unfortunately, toad in the hole is far harder to find than either of those dishes, but it's more than worth a go if you can, especially if you love a good Yorkshire pudding. As you may have learned on a certain 90s sitcom, trifle is an English dessert made up of sponge fingers, fruit, jelly, custard, whipped cream, and decidedly not beef sautéed with peas and onions. A good trifle feels like heaven in a bowl. A great trifle, which contains the traditional alcoholic element, such as port, sherry, or Madeira wine, is one of the best desserts out there, full stop. Every layer works together in perfect harmony, making for both a visual and literal feast for the senses. There's ample opportunity for experimentation here too, as pretty much anything that's sweet is bound to prove most welcome in whatever recipe you decide to use. Referred to on the Great British Bake Off as the nation's favorite cake, Victoria sponge cake is kind of like a sweet, sugary sandwich, in which a filling of jam and cream sits between two thick layers of light frosted sponge. It's not a hugely common menu item in British restaurants or pubs, but the Victoria sponge cake is a favorite for home bakers, and almost every Brit has turned their hand to it at least once before. Luckily, it's a cinch to make, and more than worth the effort, too. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a great video. We are going to talk about it. I apologize now. We've been drooling on this video here. Holy shit. So we'll go through each of them. We'll tell you which one we think we would rock with, which one we think we would not like. I will not lie to you guys. A few of them look disgusting as shit. And it is because I'm not a fish guy. I don't really like fish. So a few of them I would be extremely scared shitless to try out. So let me mute her. Great job with that. Just in case the music is not my music or anything like that. So yeah, let's start off with the bangers and mash. Let me see. Show that picture of the bangers and mash. Come on. Yeah, the bangers and mash. That one is a banger, ladies and gentlemen. This one looks great. Yeah, very easy on the eye. One thing we could definitely say too, and we're gonna keep the screen so this way we can at least talk with the names and shit, because I'm gonna mess up. A lot of the foods here, especially, they look very hearty. They look very filling. And I'm always, want food that's gonna keep me full longer and be good for you. So, this one is a guaranteed definite that I would like to try. If there's any of the foods that you haven't tried, let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, for me, many of these foods we have not tried. Only just a couple on this list alone. Let's see, the bacon sandwich. We've always been seeing this when we were watching. Let me skim it. Yeah, when we were watching Open All Hours, Ronnie B. Ronnie B always made me hungry as fuck to want to have a bacon sandwich, and you gotta have the brune sauce, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so that would be 100%. Actually, yeah, the only difference for me, I've had that bacon sandwich, but I don't have the same bacon. You guys do. So, slight little variation, but I enjoyed it when I tried it. So this is a definite right here for me. Love it. The full English, I haven't had that. I know there's different versions. You got the Scottish with the haggis. We've learned a little bit about this in our, just in our overall journey watching shows, from the UK, for example. And, as I sit here and think about it way more, I know I probably in the past was way more hesitant, to really, I guess, go outside my comfort. But I would rock with this. It's a very hearty looking breakfast. It's very colorful. But it's got a couple of the things that I love anyway. And as a Spanish person, you know what? I do eat a lot of beans. Spanish people eat a lot of beans. Especially Puerto Ricans and Cubans. I got to speak from my experience. Yeah, we eat a lot of beans and stuff like that. And I would have probably had thought, a long time ago, that maybe beans on toast might have sounded disgusting, but I think I could rock with it. I know you guys say that you got to use, I believe it's the Heinz one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know. But yeah, I would rock with the full English. So yes, that would be another one I would like to try. Maybe even the Scottish one would be pretty cool too. For my, that would be another one that would be a banger, I think. Now, the beef Wellington, this one caught my eye. It looks really good. Just with the middle part right there, man. I've been drooling nonstop. So this is another yes. There are going to be a couple of no's coming up. Let me see. The black pudding. Let me see. I think I could try that one. It almost looked at a little, I'm gonna lie that it almost looked at a little gross because she was talking about blood and all that shit. But you know what? I'd give it a go. I definitely would give that one a go. And the chip putty, I'm sorry for saying this one wrong. This one doesn't sound like it would, well, it doesn't look like it would taste good, but at the same time, I have the feeling it tastes good. Like, as weird as that may sound. Now, growing up, when I had sandwiches and stuff, ham and cheese sandwich. I know it's not the same, but I would put potato chips or potato crisps inside mine. So obviously it's not the same thing. This is not French. I didn't put French fries in my stuff, but there have been occasions when I had my burger that I would drop in a couple of French fries into it. So I think this would be a dope combination. I believe the lady said with butter. So a lot of times, at least a couple of the sandwich, the simple is better anyway. Growing up, Spanish people, bread and butter, bread and mayonnaise. You don't have a lot. You're not rich. You have bread and butter with some café con leche, and that would be your meal, and or bread and mayonnaise. And still, it's still very much a staple for myself, very much a staple for my mom and dad. So I do like a lot that sometimes the things that may not seem like it's the jam or it's that good are good. So I feel like this would be another one that I would like to try out. I haven't really tried this. This is another meal that we haven't tried. It looks good. I think I would like to try that. Obviously, it's going to be much more difficult for me to get a hold of these, but if we ever go traveling out, I'm going to have a nice list of things that I want to try. Cottage pie, yes, please. Oh, shit, this stupid ad. Okay, so cottage pie, yes, please, or shepherd's pie. That thing looks good. And this is what we're talking about. Some of these foods just look very hearty, very filling. You know, if I'm going to go out working and I need something that's going to hit the spot, this looks like this will, you know, be really good. The eaten mess, I'm sorry, again, we chop these up. I do enjoy desserts and stuff, so anything with cream, whipped toppings, I'm a fan of it. And plus, I love berries and all that, so hell yeah. Fish and chips, I've had, enjoyed it, and this is coming from someone that is not a fish guy. It took me a very long time to even like something as simple as fish sticks. So, yeah, this one is a new one for me. In 2024. Yeah, so just last year, yeah, I pretty much tried it for the first time. Put the salt and vinegar on it. Absolutely loved it. Definitely would have that way more times. Now the game pie. This one looks interesting. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if they show the pictures again on this one. Let me see. Did they show it? Actually, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'm skeptical on this one. Let me know if you enjoyed game pie. Let me know. What's the next one here? The jam roly-poly looks delicious. We've had a couple of items very similar looking to this when we had tried out a couple of Kipling stuff, Mr. Kipling stuff. We definitely have had the Battenberg ones, which we absolutely loved. So the jelly eels one, this is where shit got gross. I don't think I will like that one because number one, that shit just looks like shit. To me right there, it just looks like some nice, you know, Mr. Frosty kind of shit looking one. So this is a hard pass. I don't think I would ever want to try this one out. If you enjoyed jelly eels, let me know. Maybe you'll tell me it's not that bad. You know, let me know in the comments down below. The kippers, yeah, not much of a fish guy, so it most likely would be very difficult for me to eat this. And once I start seeing like the outer layers of the fish, yeah, I just get kind of weirded out. So yeah, I'm not much of a fish guy, so I probably would pass on the kippers. I'll stick to the fish and chips, keep it simple for myself. The Knickerbocker Glory, the dessert absolutely looks stellar. I would love to try that. Yeah, that looks really good. I love desserts. So yes, the Battenberg cake, yeah, we've tried the Mr. Kipling version of it. Enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Mince pies, we tried a couple Christmases ago. We've tried a few of those. Yeah, maybe about 3 years ago, give or take, something like that. And I enjoyed it. So that's a definite right there. The pasties, and if we get any names wrong, forgive me and stuff like that. What this reminds me of is, I know they're not the same, but because it has the meat inside and has a little bit different, more fillings in, it reminds me of the empanadas, which I have with beef and cheese and stuff like that. So it already looks very similar. These are things that I would feel like, man, if I on the go need a quick pick me up, this would be something I would definitely want to try, 100%. The Plowman's Lunch is kind of similar to the charcuterie board. We do enjoy charcuterie boards. It has a nice variety of different things. So yes, I would try that 100%. Pork pie, simple, looks good. Yes, please. Yeah, I'd try that one out. Yeah, we'll go with the scones or the scones. Yeah, this one looked really good. And it was interesting hearing about how it's called. I guess depending on where you're from, it's going to be called something differently. But yes, I would definitely. That thing looks bomb diggity good, man. I've been drooling for half of these foods here. So I think definitely my impression of the food has definitely changed while starting up this journey and stuff. And yeah, people here have heard that you know British foods are, this is what I've heard, growing up. So, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but yeah, British food basically was, shitty or it sucks or gross. Those are things that I heard. But seeing more, watching shows, seeing the food, in shows and seeing stuff like this now, yeah, over the years, my opinion has changed and stuff. And even being able to try some, definitely a lot more favorable, and my opinion has drastically changed from what you hear and stuff like that. You need to see things for yourself. Hopefully, try some for yourself. But yeah, definitely more favorable with the foods, and I would like to try more of these foods. So yeah, scones, 100%. The Scotch eggs looked really good, especially that one right here. Oh shit, this one looked good. If we can back up here, yeah, this looked. Well, play the one I liked, man. Let me see if we can get that picture. Trying to get that picture. Yeah, this thing just looks really good. It just looks like a nice combination. Yeah, I would love to try that. That looks mad good. So the scouse, saying that one wrong. We tend to have a lot of beef stew, with carrots and potatoes. And yeah, this one I know they said they can substitute lamb and among other things. I would rock with this too. So really, so far, the only ones that I would be very hesitant are anything that's really a lot of the fish based. The Stargazy 1000% would be a no. I don't know that I could even stomach that. Once I see fish heads and all that, I get really grossed out. That's just me. So I would definitely probably pass on that. The roast dinner looked amazing. Simple, hearty, straight to the point. Gimme, ladies and gentlemen. And the toad in the hole, I know we have heard that, I believe, in Dad's Army. I believe, yeah. So, yeah, we're familiar with the title, and now seeing it more come to life here with these colorful colors here, I would definitely rock with that. So, as you're going to learn that, yeah, fish and me, not the most biggest of fans when it comes to some of the fish stuff, but man, some of these foods look so damn good. So, let me know in the comments down below if there was any that you have never tried that you've been itching to try. Let me know if there is some. If you tried all of them, which I don't want to assume, but yeah, if you tried all of them, let me know which one is your absolute favorite. And if you were to absolutely recommend one, which one would it be? Mind you, we've tried the Battenberg cake and fish and chips, but for the most part, most of those we haven't really tried. So which one is the must-have one in your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. So, ladies and gentlemen, I did a bad thing by not eating any snacks today, so I did not have any snacks here. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but this was such a great video just in showcasing. Obviously, over the years, my opinion of the food has changed, which, as you get to see things for yourself, you can formulate your own opinion. But growing up, you just hear things. So, you go based on that, but which is not the best way of going about things. And that's what we try to do. We need to form our own opinions on certain things by seeing, by tasting, by watching, etc., etc. So, yeah, I just want a bacon sandwich. Give me a bacon sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just a happy camper, ladies and gents. So, thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Absolutely free to do. If there's other food videos, it could be Scottish related, other places related, foods that they got like a top 10 kind of thing. Let me know in the comments down below so we can maybe check it out. I want to get hungry on this channel. So anyways, guys, take care, be well. Much love from the kid. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Take care, be well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Appreciate you. See you soon. Peace.